Hi, Robert here with the High Desert Ranch channel, coming to you with a very special inauguration or Liberty edition. It's cold, very cold, single digits with the wind chill. It's below zero. Unusual winter because you can see behind me there's not snow on the ground, so a little worried, but the snow-capped mountains that rise at over 11,000 feet have plenty of snow, which is a good thing. But I wanted to talk to you about something special. Let me turn off that water. And it transcends all political boundaries, and a few thoughts that come to mind. One is some of the original language that was changed from our founding fathers and the documents that they stated. Sorry, it is cold. I'm gonna put my gloves on. Live, unedited, raw. And that is, when they were forging the Constitution and even the Declaration of Independence, we're going to start with the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson said, "We hold these truths to be sacred." Benjamin Franklin said, "It smacks of the pulpit. Smacks of the pulpit. But these truths are self-evident, and the things outlined in the Declaration of Independence are self-evident." And one of those things too, or the phrase, we all say it and we know it, is life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But it's actually, the original language was life, liberty, and private property. And just like this ranch, if you're familiar with this ranch now, 700 acres provides life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But without private property, you can't have happiness, and you can't pursue that happiness. Now, for some watching this, they think, and they've seen some of the videos, snow, sleet, rain, cold, this doesn't seem like the pursuit of happiness to them, but to each their own. So because of those things, because of our true republic that was established, one lady asked Benjamin Franklin after they had ratified the Constitution, said, "Sir, what have you given us?" And Benjamin Franklin said, "A republic, if you can keep it." And knowing the difference between a republic and a democracy is huge. Democracy is mob rule. Republic is an elected body of representatives to represent not only the majority, but also the minority. But just to, if you're not familiar with the directions here, can you tell if it's a rising or setting sun based upon this video? And that ties into my second thought, is there was a picture frame, a painting in the Independence Hall. And the whole time Benjamin Franklin, he was the man of many opinions, astute observations. He would stare at this painting, and it was a painting of a sun. And he said, "Gentlemen, this whole time I've tried to figure out whether or not this is a rising or setting sun." And he said, "Right now, is it a rising sun over this great nation. And as long as the people pursue the tenets and support the tenets that are outlined here in this sacred document, the sun will always be rising upon this great country. But as soon as the people abandon the principles outlined in this Constitution, this document, it will be a setting sun." But even more important, one of the greatest exports that our founders wanted was the export of freedom and liberty. It's more specific, liberty. And there's a difference between the two. And so he wanted the sun to be rising upon the entire, not only this continent, but the entire globe, and not to be setting. And so when people say, "Robert, don't get political, you should stay away from politics on your channel," I say, when I go to the pump and I put diesel in my tractor and it costs me more, that's politics. When people go to the store and they pay more for food because of inflation, that's politics. When they go to the store and there's not something available, be whatever it may be, there's a shortage, that's politics. And so call it what you may, there is a distinction, and whether people want to believe it or not, things, when those globalists, those of the death cult, they make it political through whatever ridiculousness. It's not a ideology of liberty and freedom and life. It is the exact opposite. It is the exact opposite of life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, the exact opposite of life, liberty, and private property. And so I just want to take this time to say, if we can move forward, like Benjamin Franklin said, and our founders, and support the ideologies and the principles of freedom, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and brotherly kindness, is something they also want to exemplify, we'll be a much better society. We'll be much better off. It's the division, it's the balkanization, it's the tribalism that those in power want. While we're fighting and squabbling amongst each other, they come in and sweep up all the power. And then, like an Animal Farm, there's a reason why it's not made mandatory reading anymore. If you haven't read Animal Farm, go back and read it. It's on audiobook or whatever, you can buy your copy. Is we end up being the barnyard animals out in squalor, while the pigs, those who seek power, end up being in the nice warm barn farmhouse, looking more like those who are already abusing power and killing those noble animals in the barnyard that were championing for the little guy, the little animals. And yet we all end up in the cold, in the dark, staring in from the squalor of the barnyard at those in power inside the farmhouse. So again, I appreciate you coming along. You can't feel the cold. My ears are frozen. I am gonna finish up these chores, feeding these cows. But again, I hope that, as always, I'm your ticket to help escape the ordinary and find out just what it's like to live the high life here in the high desert of the Intermountain West at over 6,000 feet here on the High Desert Ranch channel.